Hi guys, and welcome back to the Survival Project. We are on episode number 28, and I have got myself some full netherite now, so that is great. We've got all of the tools set up and everything. I just went around and got it all sorted out. And I've also started implementing the textures that I want for this new update. So I've sort of like come along and I have changed this crimson block. I really didn't like the original sort of like really pinkish tone that it had. This is still a little bit pink, but also it is much more red. I suppose it's a little bit more magenta than anything. So I came along and just added a bit of a red highlight over the top of it. I'm not too sold on these doors yet. I might do a little bit more work on that just to get them looking exactly the way we want them. I think the trapdoors look a lot better and the standard blocks look a lot better. They're a lot more usable. I still don't know where I would use them in this world, and I've not really made any difference to the main block. But if we strip it, again, this has just got more of this sort of reddish tone. So what I wanted to do was try and get more of the actual colours that are in there, because if we take this texture pack off, you can see that the colours aren't really representative of what's in this main block here. So yeah, I was never too sold on it when I first saw it. So I do think that what we've got now is actually going to work a lot better going forwards. It's just a little bit more usable. I mean, especially with some of the other nether blocks that we have already. I don't think I don't have any of them on me to show you, but like I think this blends in a lot better with your nether bricks and your red nether bricks, which is really cool. I do absolutely love the other block variant that we had. I can't remember what it's called off the warped. It's called warped. So I love the textures for the warped. I just felt like this needed a bit of a change. I'm going to keep playing around with this because I'm still not 100% happy with what we've got going on there. But yeah, just to show you guys, we've got all of our like little. I tried to zoom again, forgetting the zoom key doesn't work. But we've got all of our trapdoors re-implemented, and I've come along and I've put a couple of my different glass types. So that's orange glass up here. That's what this looks like, which I think is a whole lot better. And I've also re-added the. There's not an example there. I believe there's some here. Yep. So I've also re-added the light grey glass blocks that we have as well. And that is a bit of a weird tone. Is that just because of the lighting in here? Yeah, I think that's just because of the lighting. But yeah, so I've re-implemented the light grey blocks, which is great. And I've changed the acacia back to our more sort of brownish red tone that we normally have, because I think that looks a little bit nicer than the bright orange that we normally get. So that's all great, and basically all of the trapdoors are back because I miss them. You know, I do like the vanilla spruce trapdoor, but I just think this works a bit better for what we've got going on. The oak and the dark oak trapdoors are just rehashes of this same sort of texture. Now, in today's episode, we're going to do quite a bit of terraforming work on this island, I think. So, having flitted through the comments and that and seeing what everyone's been saying, I do think that going for the Panda Sanctuary is a bit of a better idea. So, we're going to be doing that. And I have one suggestion for keeping a hold of these polar bears here and just calling them albino pandas. So, I think we might do that. We did go through all of the effort to get a hold of them. But just before we actually get into doing any work today, I do just want to hop on over to the Unorthodox server just to give you guys another little update of what's going on there. So I'm going to try and keep this nice and dim so that you guys can't really see all too much. But I have been hard at work. I have got a huge space dug out down here. This is a part of the mini game that we've been building. I'm going to run on through to the next little area as well. We've been doing a load of digging out in here. And basically, I've pretty much finished now all of the sort of prep work for what's going on. I haven't laid any of the little traps. I haven't moved any of the mobs in or anything. But we are getting there. Just as a bit of a scope for how big this area that I've dug out is, every single one of these chests is full to the brim up to here. So we've still got a little bit of space up there to fill up and a little bit there. I've got a tiny bit more digging out that I want to do, but we are pretty much ready now to get this entire thing going, which is fantastic. I'd say I'm probably about 60 to 70% done. A lot of the other little bits that I've got to do aren't really going to take very long. Most of the digging's all done, and that is obviously what's been taking up a hell of a lot of time. Sorry if it's pretty dark at the moment. I started playing with the moody setting on again. Actually kind of prefer it. There is one thing that we're missing. I'm actually not going to land because there's a lot of mobs here. Yeah, there's one thing that we're really missing, and that's player heads still. Now, we did set this up to sort of like get going. Hasn't been used yet, but there is a tournament planned to be coming up in the next few days, hopefully. So hopefully we'll be able to grab a load of player heads there and just get everything set up. It's not the end of the world if we can't get all of the player heads set. We'll just have to use signs to represent each player, but I just thought it'd be a nice idea to get all of the player heads in place. So yeah, look forwards to seeing the little tournament that we're going to have going on here. Not exactly sure how it's going to be set up. I mean, I think Lady Bex is sorting out the sort of tier list and who's fighting who first and that. We haven't really done any more work in here. I haven't really done any more work other than what's going on inside of this minigame because I really, really want to get it done. It does take a hell of a long time, and when you're digging out huge spaces, you can get a little bit burnt out doing it. But, as I say, we're about 60 to 70% done now. Soon we're going to be doing the hard bit, which is pulling all of the mobs in and all of that sort of stuff. But we shall get to that, and I'm sure I can get some help off of some other people to sort of get them moving. I will probably be recording the gathering of the mobs, as it were. But I think as well we're going to avoid our main base for a while because our main base is going to be using a lot of the same block palette as what we've been doing in here, and to be totally honest, I'm pretty bored of grey tones at the moment, so yeah, I'm probably going to find another little project that we can do somewhere just to keep us busy for a little while, just to get out of being underground and out of using such a grey palette. But that is pretty much all that I've got to say for the Unorthodox server. Basically, the short of it is, we're getting there. It's going to happen. So, jumping on back into the survival project world now, I realised that I just said to you guys we was going to be working on this island, but I have not been 100% honest with you. We are not going to be working on this island today, because at the end of the last episode, what I said was that basically we are going to build up this entire little island here. So that means the only thing that we're not going to do is a bridge from this side over to that side. We're going to get a bridge put in from there to here, and we're going to basically decide whether we want to put some form of a structure on here or whether we want to just keep it as a sort of garden area. Again, I know we've got a hell of a lot of garden areas in this world, but that's kind of the way I picture this island. It's more like at one with nature and all of that sort of stuff. So yeah, it makes more sense to me to be more of a garden area than anything, so we can get some cool little custom trees built up, and yeah, just all of that sort of stuff that we've done quite a few times before. We get some seating areas over here, it's overlooking the ocean and that again, and that could be really, really cool. Just to sort of tie this little area off, gonna have to add a little bit of height variation because at the moment this is very, very flat, but we got the base idea. And another thing, we're probably not going to get to it today, it's just something that sort of cropped into my head as we were running round. We will need another lighthouse on this side of the island, just because it would make sense to have them sort of scattered around the island. You don't want any ships crashing into your island. So what I will probably do at some point as well is raise this island here up and sort of turn that into a little lighthouse. I think that could wind up looking really cool there. Just sort of away from the main island, and I guess we could make a bridge, or I might just make it so that they take boats, like little rowboats, over to the lighthouse. So if we did a rowboat idea, we'd probably actually build it up on that island there. But anyway, I think that is quite enough chatting. I need to start getting some work done. So I think what I'm going to do is, I pretty much know that the bridge is going to be coming to here. So this is where it's going to be landing. So I'm going to have to come along. I'll set up like a little pathway, probably just sort of running a little bit diagonal. It's going to go off in a few areas, and that's going to set up the basis for our little garden area here. And then we can sort of start planning what we want, where, and all of that sort of stuff. So yeah, let me get some pathways set up and we can jump back in and see where we're going to go from there. We've got our first few bits of planning going on now. I've got all of the roadways sort of done. I'm actually not going to add loads of height variation to it. I think I just need to mix up these cliff facings a little bit more to make the island look a bit more interesting, like we've got going on over there. Because at the moment, all of this is quite flat. But yeah, we've got all of the pathways in. We've got these birch fences here, just marking out where we're going to have a few trees. I really don't want a lot of trees. I might pop one over here. Actually, no, I don't think I will. What I want to try, because I've not used these very much, is actually planting down some poppies. And or rose bushes might work a bit better actually. Just to get a little bit of another color variation in the plants going on. We haven't really used any red plants anywhere. I think that's because a lot of the sort of wood types that we're using have got quite red tones to them as well, so I've kind of avoided it. But it might be quite nice actually if I want to have like a seating area right there. But if we come along with some of these and fill this area out with them, I'll give it a go. We can jump in and have a look, but it might wind up being a little bit too blocky. Yeah, let's find out. Right, so this is very, very red. But yeah, I think that is kind of what I was thinking. It just looks a little bit too, I don't know, thick, I suppose. Like, you know, we've got these lilacs over there, and it doesn't quite have that same feeling using those rose bushes. I'm not a big fan of them. So, yeah, I'm going to take this away. I'll have a look in our little flower farm, see if there's anything that strikes me as a bit more interesting to use over here. So, let me just go and grab those bits real quick and see if we can come up with something a bit better for this. So I think these orange tulips actually look a hell of a lot better on here. If we just fly out for a sec, we can get a bit of a better look. Yeah, it just creates a bit of a nicer sort of like colour difference, I suppose, to the red. The red was really, really blocky and actually quite horrible. But this, because it's quite a bit lower down, I actually think suits the bill pretty well. I did like a bit of a bush in here as well. I think that's going to stay. That's going to be okay. Obviously, we need to add all the grass in, but because I don't want to use up too much time, and I know I've done quite a bit of talking already, I'm probably going to get the bulk of this island done, come in and show you guys, because I do want to spend quite a bit of time sort of focusing on how we're going to build this bridge, because we've got a bit of an interesting one here, where we've actually got a height variation between where we are here and where we are there, so that's going to create a bit of a challenge for how we're going to design this bridge, but I'm sure we can come up with something really good for that. So yeah, let me just rush on through and get this island sort of built up, and then I can show you what I've done. I'm going to have to check post-editing just to see how dark Moody's made some of these clips look, because I'm kind of just using it on a whim at the moment, so hopefully it's not too bad. If it is, I apologise now, but I'll find out at the end of this episode, and if it is too bad, then we just simply won't use the Moody lighting setting again. Anyway, to work. Right, so I have got this island done now, and I think it's starting to look really good. I copied over some of the orange tulips onto that side. Obviously, we've got the fences running all the way along just to create the pathway. We've chucked in a few of these custom birch trees, which I think look really good. We're using dark oak leaves on them, and I think they look great. Chucked a few ferns about the place as well, just to sort of add a little bit of variation into our sort of grass texture. I think that helps out. We've got a few little flowers scattered about the place. I'm just going to get rid of this red poppy and this yellow one here because I don't like them. So yeah, just a few little flowers scattered about the place. Now, it is pretty tight on some of these pathways, which is fine. I actually think that sort of helps the area out quite a bit. But yeah, I think this is looking really, really cool now. Just as a nice little garden area, let's just get a little flyby of it, because this is typically how I view most things, is flying over. But yeah, I think, yeah, it just suits the bill. I need to do a bit of work on the cliff facing, just to make that look a little bit more interesting, because it looks really, really flat. Otherwise, I'm really happy with the way that this looks at the moment, and I think it's going to be a great sort of connecting point. We definitely do need to get a structure over here, though, because there's quite a big gap between any of the structures. So, as I was saying, we're probably going to have a nice big lighthouse there. I was originally talking about keeping that island separate to this main bit, but I might make it so that it works up. If not, I might raise that section up and create a rope bridge over, actually. That could wind up looking really, really cool. And I've got a few decent little techniques to make rope bridges. Now, on the subject of bridges, that's what we need to work on next here. So, what I need to do is figure out how big this gap is, and then we can go from there and actually design in a bridge. So, yeah, let me do a little bit of working out, and we can jump in and just sort of have a look at what's going on. Now, we also have to remember we do have a decline or an incline, depending which way you look at it. Now, there's a few ways we could go about fixing that. We could either have like a little step up from this side, so we have some stairs before you actually get onto the bridge, which I'm kind of leaning towards that idea at the moment. Or we could work something else out. It could just be a slanted bridge sort of coming downwards, but that means we're going to have to keep the main structure pretty flat. Something worth considering, so I'll think about it a little bit. I'm going to have a look for some like little reference pictures of some more Japanese bridges, because I've built quite a few at the moment, and I don't want every single one to look exactly the same. So yeah, let's get a little bit of work done here. Have a look at that. I think that's pretty cool. That's using our nice new crimson textures. It's a lot redder than I thought it was initially, actually. So I actually really, really love the way that this new texture looks. It's still a little bit pinkish, which is fine, but I think this bridge looks pretty damn cool, to be totally honest. It's really, really simple. We're just got like a nice little simple archway. If you follow the trapdoors along, that's how big it is. So it goes 2, 4, 10, 4, 2. And that gives us our little gap of, what's that? That's 20 something or other. Yeah, it's 20 something or other. I can't be bothered to do maths right now. And we're just using the crimson stairs to create like a little gateway bit here, so you can sort of see through, and we're using slabs along the top. It just makes it create like quite a nice little sort of bridge pattern. Another like sort of fence post without actually using fence posts. And then we've just got some like little gateway type stilts going on at the bottom there. I am tempted to add some more of the crimson root, just sort of connecting these two bits together. Should help add a little bit more stability, and then we'll have a beam that sort of comes up and attaches to the middle there, which should help it look a little bit better. But yeah, I really, really love that. I'm really glad I played around with those textures. To begin with, I wasn't intending on using these at all, because I really couldn't see a place where I could use them. But yeah, no, that works great. If you just search up Japanese bridge into Google Images, you'll find a lot of red bridges that look very, very similar to this. So that's sort of the inspiration for it. The trapdoors might not be the best sort of highlight along there, but I did want to get a nice white colour in there. So I may come along and swap that out for something else at some point, but for the time being, I think that works pretty well. Yeah, so that is going to wrap us up for today's episode. Got a fair amount of work done. We finished this little island off. It's nice little cosmetic things, as I am still trying to get back into this Japanese style. As I say, it's been quite a while since I've done it. Now you can see our little Torii gate off in distance there. That is where we're going to be working in the next episode, 100%. I've got a lot of work to get done over here, and I really want to make this area look really, really good. So, as I said at the beginning of the episode, we're going to be going into actually just making a panda sanctuary rather than making a zoo. I think it'll be a bit better, and from what I've read in the comments, it seems a bit better. And that bridge over there, I think that looks so, so good, especially from a distance. So, well done us. We did a good job. Yeah, so that is going to wrap us up for today. I really hope you've enjoyed the episode. I do really miss having the replay mod, because I would have liked to have actually properly shown the process of building this. I didn't really see the point in dropping in with just like little checkups on building that bridge, because it really did not take too long to do, to be totally honest. And that was the first iteration of it as well. It's not like I've taken it down and changed it all over or anything. But yes, this outro is getting a little bit long now. I hope you've had a good day. I hope you've enjoyed the episode, and I will catch you guys in the next one.